All right, today we'll be looking at how to install Sitecore Commerce 9 on top of what we just did, which is Sitecore 9 Update 1. So the first thing you would need to do, as always, is to come to dev.sitecore.net. This is the page for the Update 1, which is the latest at this moment in time. I'm doing an on-premise XP single install, which we did in the unofficial Sitecore training before this. So I clicked on that. This is where we came. With anything, what I would suggest you do is go through this document at least once before you do the install. Same with any other Sitecore install document. It's better for you to know what steps are coming ahead so that you don't, panic when you see something. But essentially, the main thing this needs is a working version of SIF and Sitecore 9, and then this will sit on top of that. So the hardware requirements, certain extra things it needs will be added on top of it. Hardware we already went through for the unofficial Sitecore training. We're running 8-core, 32 gigs, so that shouldn't be an issue. And then, you could just go through and look at all the requirements we need in terms of what we have. And we do have all the prerequisites should be installed and ready to go. It'll walk you through all the things. So let's look through it and get started, and hopefully by the end of this video we should have a working install of Sitecore Commerce 9. Okay, from reading all the things, it looks like the magic happens in cdeploy from what I've seen. But first step, it's asking you to go here and then update once the latest. We're going to download this. I accept. In the meantime, let's get to the C drive and then let's have a look. It is deploy, so let's create a folder called deploy. You will need a folder called assets in there, and hopefully that should download. Once it downloads, we will follow the instructions and see how we get to a full install. Okay, so the install download is done. So we're gonna come here, copy this guy, get back here. Now let's see what it asks us to do. Get over here and extract the zip files. So let's extract it, and that should give us the contents of that zip. All right, so it unzipped all of these files. I'm gonna take all of them, dump them back into the deploy folder up here. Let's have a look. It says blah on your machine. Okay. Unzip Commerce Engine BizFX. Let's see. Commerce. Okay. So they want BizFX. And then they want Commerce Engine.sdk. Okay, so that's done. Next, they want us to deploy these. So let's open that. Let's try to get that. See what we can do about that. Okay, so we're 4.7.2. 2. We'll download that. Okay, and then assuming one, let's see, 1.6. All right, download that. And MS Build, it wants us to, so let's do a manual download. And then it wants us to do something specific. So let's take a look real quick. Let's get back here. And downloads. So these two, we can put it in the assets folder. This guy, it wants us to do what? Unpack, copy. Okay, so this is the easiest way. So it wants tools, VS tool path, web XML transform .xml. Copy that. We could throw it in the assets folder. That finishes that. Okay. All right. The next part is create a certificate for Sitecore Commerce Connect. Let's tackle that. Okay, one other thing what we're going to do is we're going to get into the engine SDK, copy this tag pack into the assets folder. We know where it is. Then let's get on to installing the SSL cert. Also, two things I wanted to point out. The core SDK, the core Windows Server hosting are a couple of the things you have to install as a prerequisite before we go ahead, which I overlooked while I was going through the prerequisites, and that's why it's important you read through some of this documentation. Okay, next up is creating the certificate for Sitecore Commerce Engine. So we need to execute these two commands. So what I'm going to do, and we've had issues with copy paste from PDF, so I am not taking any chances. I will make sure that we have it right. So these are the two commands. What we need to do is we need to execute this in PowerShell. So let me just get the site name real quick. There, and what we'll do is we shall copy that and let's run it in the PowerShell. So that's created. What you need to do is you need to grab the thumbprint from the first command we executed, and then we need to place that in our assets folder. So essentially, let's copy that there. Let's call it .crt. Sorry, let's see. Copy that. Let's paste it here. Do that. Let's go back to the folder. We have the certificate created. Now, at this moment in time, we have the certificate created. We have it ready. Now it's asking us to stop the XConnect website. So let's go to XConnect. stop the site. All right, so now we're getting into the main portion of the script. Okay, according to the instructions, we can get rid of that. According to the instructions, it wants us to come over here, make a copy of that. Let's call it my deploy. I usually like giving it a date. So, okay. All right, save the copy, and then at this moment, I think what we want to do is we want to be able to look at that, and then essentially what it's asking us to do is go through these parameters, make sure you set them appropriately. Remember that the prerequisite for the Sitecore Commerce is an existing install of your Sitecore 9 site. So I am assuming you have an install PowerShell where you specified what it is the name of the site and things of that sort in order for you to actually be able to run commerce on top of it. So this is what we will be taking and running with it and using some of the parameters we used in here into the commerce install script will make it extremely easy. So I'm going to go ahead and modify some of these attributes and get ready to install it. I think I modified everything I wanted in this. I do want to mention though that the resolve path for me was giving a ton of unusual errors, even though I made sure the files exist. Just didn't want to deal with it this late at night. I just wanted to get this done. So I basically put in the specific path where it can find all of this. And then, let's go ahead and run it and see what happens. Okay, so far it looks fine. Thankfully, nothing crazy yet. So we did get a couple of warnings. Still, it's continuing. Let's have a look where we net out with this. Let's try to install the PowerShell extensions. It seems to be going okay so far, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed, hoping everything does what it's supposed to do. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to pause and resume based on what happens with this install. Here you go. It just came back and it finished installing the PowerShell extensions. Now it's installing SXA. I'm going to pause again and then resume when it's done. Also worthwhile to mention that if you signed up for the sandbox account for Braintree to test credit card processing and things of that sort, you can specify the values in here. Totally depends on what you need. So you need, the merchant ID, the public and private key and stuff. So just bear that in mind. So it's taking quite a bit to install the SXA, so I'm just gonna pause and wait. Don't want this video to be too long. Okay, that seems to be done. On to the next task. I'm really hoping this goes through and we can seamlessly get the instance up and running. But so far with SIF as well, even though it was laborious, it was pretty easy to get the instance up as long as you followed all the instructions. So that's kind of interesting. I'm hoping that this would fall in the same category where we just follow the instructions to the T, and as long as everything was set up properly, the install script will run and we will have a running website at the end of this. There it goes. The publishing to web, 2 minutes 16 seconds. It's picking up and installing the actual Commerce Habitat images at this moment in time. Okay, again, move to AdventureWorks images at this moment. And now to Commerce Connect core. Yep, now it's moved on to Commerce Engine Connect. Okay, it is picking up. Like each of these installs takes quite a bit of time, and it's just all about patience and waiting, hoping and making sure that nothing is failing. Okay, now it's to the storefront. Next up is the themes. Next up, the Habitat catalog. All right, and it's picking up initializing Commerce Engine. So let's see what happens. It seems to be checking a few things, initializing. Again, each task, it depends. Some taking longer, some are pretty quick. Looks like a bunch of checks finished, and it is trying to do more. Seems like this is longer than the SIF Sitecore 9 install, the number of things it is doing, but understand that it's a bunch of complicated things and it is installing quite a few modules and connectors. Okay, so the default storefront we're seeing an error over here. Don't know what that is about. I guess we will find out soon enough. And we're back to publishing to web. Let's see how we net out on this one. We did see some warnings before. This is the first error we're looking at. Looks like it went through that. And it's rebuilding indexes, so seems positive. These indexings are taking forever. And as you can see, this is not a small box by any means. So it's 8 core, 32 gig, and it's been checking along on the indexes. Master just finished. It's picking up the web, but each of them is taking quite a bit of time. So let's see. Well, there you go. All I had to do was say something about it, I guess. It's picking it up, and let's see what happens next. Okay, looks like it restarted. Now it's waiting for the SQL Server to restart. Okay, looks like things did finish. We got a bunch of warnings, one error. Let's see where we stand. All right, so post-install steps should be pretty easy. So let's take a look. So it wants us to open the Sitecore admin. It wants us to open the storefront. Okay, let's go to the IS manager. If you notice, then we have a few of the newer sites in here. It's asking us to start it, which we will. Navigate to, manage to start. And then it talks about to create logins and things like that. So let's just log in to this, get into business tools. As you can see, looks to be functional so far, which is great. We're able to see a lot of info, and it seems to be pretty quick. I haven't really had a chance to play around with any of this yet. This is my first brand new install, so it's kind of interesting how this is working. And I guess this is IE, so something to play around with for sure. I'll keep you guys posted once we get going on other things, but this should close out our commerce install. Thank you so much for watching. Just wanted to show you that you actually can open it in Chrome. It looks much better than it does in IE. There's probably like IE11 or something like that. So just wanted to show that it does seem to do what it's supposed to do so far. And then I'm sure there's some performance tweaks which we can do to make it much faster. But again, this is the first brand new install, so there's a ton which we could do after that. All right, that's what I wanted to show you guys. All right, have fun.